Gio, one of the things you shared with us today that kind of blew me away was T-rail hybrid irons.
Mhm.
This is an iron that looks like a hybrid, and obviously at the top end is a hybrid that blends beautifully into a set with plenty behind the head and and quite an expensive looking profile
Mhm.
at a price that shocks me. Can you step into where you started with this set and how you came to be into T-Row?
One of the things we do a lot is we test with a super game improvement golfer and look at what do they need, what can we provide for them as better performance. And one of the things we know, and we've had very good success with our F Max lineup the last several years, and that golfer is the super game improvement golfer, the 17 plus handicap. So looking for speed, looking for high launching, looking for lightweight. But one of the things we ran into with those golfers is, they definitely wanted more distance. And one of the things you do in a design trade-off, if you're doing a traditional iron, with traditional lofts, you get a certain flight. If a golfer wants more distance out of that, you've got to add some technology and some performance to do that. So typically what we do when you look at these T-rail irons is we make a much wider sole than a traditional F Max style or super game improvement iron. So that wider sole drives the CG down and further back. By making them hollow and a little bit shallower construction, we're also able to lower the CG. So lower and further back always hits it higher. So that's great, and you can get it up plenty high. In fact, in many cases, you can get it too high. So when you look at the profile these golfers want, they want high, but they also want farther. So you're able to, because you have a hybrid sole on these, the weight is further back, you can make the loft a little stronger. So now you get a lot more distance. So you retain all that easy up properties and the high launches with a lot more distance. So with a hollow construction, with a very wide sole, you're able to do that.
So T-rail as a concept is not new. We see it in a number of the current products in the market right now.
Mhm.
One of my favorite design elements is in the speedback fairway woods, where the rail gets progressively deeper as you get into a club that would be more inclined to drive through the ground.
Mhm.
How difficult is it to design a set of irons when you have that perception of, while you go closer to a wedge, you're going to probably intend to drive a little bit harder into the ground?
Sure. Yeah, we definitely know that the angle of attack gets steeper as you get to a shorter golf club and higher loft. So one of the things we have with the T-rail is a rail system. The baffler rail technology that we've used for a long time has been reintroduced and reinvented for this. And one of the things we talk about all the time is the baffler technology is something that the industry sees as really good for rough lies and out of the sand, but we think it's actually best out of the fairway. You're trying to get the ball off the ground, and anytime you have a ground impact, the less contact area you have, the more speed you're going to maintain with the club, the faster your shot's going to come out. So especially for those golfers who tend to even maybe hit the ball a little bit fat, the baffler technology helps maintain speed through that impact area because you have less ground contact to slow you down. Mm-hmm. So by putting it through a full set, there probably isn't a better application because every iron is almost always hit off the ground for most of the shots. Now, occasionally we do it off the tee when we're on par threes.
Ideally, anyway.
But we know that golfers, even when they do that, do tend to hit the ball, they to take a divot or have a ground contact, even if they're on a short tee. So if we're trying to get these golfers high launch, further distance, great playability, the baffler technology is a great addition to these hybrid irons.
If you look at T-rail, you see forged E9 written just outside the grooves on the face. What are we looking at here?
So similar to what we've done with the speedback design, some prior designs, we have a forged stainless steel face in these. And when you do that, the forging creates a stronger material so you can make it thinner. Thinner means you're going to get more speed off the face and higher launch. So that's always beneficial. So when we do that, we also look at the E9 structure because not only golfers want maximum speed off the center, they also want their mishits to go pretty far as well. And so what you do, you're also in the design of those, you're also trying to save as much weight as possible. So when you look at an E9 construction, you can thicken it in the appropriate areas and thin it everywhere else. But overall, that forged face is going to give us a lot more speed than some of the traditional irons out there in the super game improvement space.
The last thing I want to talk about is the finish. Tio, in the men's, you have this incredible, fully black, dark finish. And then the women's, you have this progressive combination of black and chrome. What led to that design element, and what can golfers expect in terms of durability between the two heads?
Yeah, so one of the things we've learned over the years is golfers want their clubs to look great. and they'll look great for as long as possible. Now, we know golf clubs are a very severe environment. You're hitting through dirt and sand and grass and rocks and all kinds of things. So one of the things we did with these, the entire set, is typically what you do is we chrome plate them, and then we'll PVD finish them to get the black look. So when you actually chrome plate and then PVD over it, it's much more durable. Now, it's not quite as durable as our DBM finishes we had on some of our forgings, but it's very close to that. So what we want is great looks. There's a great shelf appeal to that. There's a great bag appeal, but they also will maintain that throughout a lot of the life of the golf club. Now, we won't say forever because golf clubs are a severe environment. But the goal is make your clubs look beautiful. People want to buy something that looks great. It gives them greater self-confidence, and it helps them feel better about their equipment and about their play. And as most of us, that play golf, we play for fun. Most of us don't play for money, to earn a living. We're playing for fun with our friends. Sometimes we're trying to take money off our friends, but in reality, we're playing for fun. Sure. So the idea is let's have great looking clubs, let's have great performing clubs, and let's make the golfers happy.